Hi, it's Rabbi Alex, and these are my Torah thoughts this week for Shemot, Exodus, the beginning of the book of Exodus. And I brought with you a sculpture from my office. This sits on one of my desk in there. And it looks like an old rabbi sculpture. This is actually from my grandmother, my mom's mom, Clara Locke, who lived in Harrisburg. And she liked to do a lot of different forms of art, and it was something that was always important to her, and so it's the one thing that I really kept from her. She was my central grandmother figure. She and my grandfather Bani Locke, or we called him Zadie, they were really the second, real important part of my immediate family. Giving me love and support and nurturing in the way we hope that grandparents do. Grandparents are really important. In this week's Torah portion, it actually begins with a list of the great-great-grandparents. We come into the book of Exodus remembering Jacob and his family, all those 70 individuals that came to Egypt. And then we're told right away that a Pharaoh arose that did not know Joseph. There's a severing of the ties of generations. When we have a relationship with our grandparent, it really ties us not only to different parts of the family, but that grandparent has lived life experience and has contacts with people that go all the way generations to their grandparents. So when we talk to our grandparents, we were really talking to their grandparents, who were talking to their grandparents. And some of us that I'm speaking to are grandparents or great-grandparents. The line of generations that takes us from one generation to the next, it's not just the life that we are living. It's also the connections to hundreds of years of human history that we have through individuals in their life that eventually will pass on in this great Lador Vador baton race from generation to generation, baton race that we have through our history. And Pharaoh forgot that. Pharaoh forgot his grandparents, great-grandparents, who loved Joseph. He forgot the connections of generations, and that led to the downfall of Egypt. It's so important, and this week we're celebrating grandparents. There actually is a new organization, the Jewish Grandparents Network, that works on this nationally, because grandparents aren't given their due. We do things not only for maybe our kids or maybe our friends or family, but we do things I like to think of for Bubby. So when I have this on my desk or in my office, it's a reminder of the generations that came before me, of my grandmother, of those warm feelings, and how one day maybe I'll pass this on to my grandchildren if I'm so lucky. Have a great rest of your week, a Shabbat Shalom, and celebrate your grandparents, whether they're dead or alive. Hug them.